None of these issues at your department exist in a vacuum. In fact, they are all fundamentally connected to the administration's overarching cruelty. We want to hear from you because we are hoping you can make it make sense for us. Because with all due respect, we are all trying to understand why in the world this is taking place.
Hi there, welcome to the Reaction Radar. Boy, do we have a show for you today. This first clip here is going to show LaMonica, McIver interviewing Kristi Noem as a result of the incident with the ICE agent getting assaulted. This obviously is in Congress, and this was after the fact of the assault. But with any further ado, let's jump into this because, boy, is this going to be interesting.
And ranking member, a lot has been said, and I expect a lot more will be said about the department's interaction with members of this body when it comes to oversight. But this is not about me. Madam Secretary, it's not every day we have a cabinet member before this committee. As you know, the members of this committee have constitutional oversight responsibility for your department, and there are many things regarding this administration's homeland security policies that require our immediate attention. That is the work I am here to do today and every day. Secretary, this committee and the American people deserve answers for the actions of the Department of Homeland Security under this administration and the policies that have been put into place. The department has overseen a regime of cruelty, chaos, and deep disregard for humans.
Cruelty, chaos, and deep disrespect for humans. Right, keep that in mind.
Human dignity, all under the pretense of security. The department is being mismanaged, and its policies undermine our nation's values. This does not make us safer, the exact opposite.
I agree. It doesn't make us safer, especially when we have people assaulting law enforcement officers that are supposed to be lawmakers.
Exactly. Secretary, we need answers about your department's union busting at TSA, deporting U.S. citizens, terminating the legal status of international students for no apparent reason, and disregarding.
Folks, don't get caught up into the fear-mongering, okay? Students are not being deported on student visas for no apparent reason, okay? Like I said time and time again in the show, be informed and engaged. Look this information up for your own, okay? A student can come over to the United States of America to further their studies, right? Now, with that, it says a student can be deported if they violate the visa terms. Now, you have to read what the visa terms are, but some of the things that come with that is that if they're being charged criminally or they have a criminal offense, they can be deported. Depends on the violation or the crime they're being charged with. For example, if a student get caught for, consuming alcohol, right, regardless of whatever that stipulation may be, open alcohol contained in a vehicle, drunk in public or what have you. Now, that can get them deported if they are on a student visa, okay? But it may or may not. It depends on the severity of the crime, but it will trigger an investigation. Okay, you have to understand this. These are guests or visitors in the country. So don't jump into this fear-mongering tactics that they're trying to play, saying that, they're doing this and they're doing that and they're, deporting students.
And the rule of law. None of these issues at your department exist in a vacuum. In fact, they are all fundamentally connected to the administration's overarching cruelty. We want to hear from you because we are hoping you can make it make sense for us. Because with all due respect, we are all trying to understand why in the world this is taking place.
I agree. Why in the world are we lying to the United States citizens, Congresswoman?
In my district and around this nation, countless international students had their visas revoked without due process, without warning.
Again, fear-mongering. Look this information up on your own.
And without any regard for how this would devastate their lives. These are students who came here to learn, to build their futures, and join our workforce, only to have the rug pulled out from under them by this department's actions? How can we expect international students to trust our institutions and contribute to our economy when we treat them like they've done something wrong just because they are here? Are we no longer the home of the American dream?
Home of the American dream. Now, I want you to keep in mind, McIver was saying earlier that citizens deserve answers for the actions. How can we expect international students to trust our institution? Well, ma'am, and I'm sorry, home of the brave. Clearly, this is home of the brave we're about to see now. Again, this is an old clip. You know, it's you guys, I'm pretty sure have seen it before, but I just want to bring the point home, okay? How can we expect a congresswoman or a congressperson in general, because it's not only her, it's politicians in general, they're lying and fear-mongering and putting out misinformation. That's why it behooves you folks. We have to be educated, okay? You have to be sharp and educated. Now, I want you to look at this and formulate your own opinion, okay? Do not listen to me. Do not listen to this congresswoman. Do not listen to anybody else but you and your own formulation of your opinion, okay? But I want you to ask yourself some questions as you're watching this. One, the congressperson that's elected is supposed to be that representative of that state, okay? Now, with that being said, it's understood that a congressperson would be the representative doing interviews, taking challenges from that state, challenges, concerns, or whatever they may have, and bring it to the body of the government to try to get this resolved and settled, okay? With that being said, you tell me if this is a politician's professionalism and characteristics the way this went down. Oh, and by the way, they kept saying that Homeland Security was unprofessional. They were trying to not, they weren't trying to de-escalate. But I want you to look at this and tell me who escalated this. Now, McIver is the one wearing the red blazer. So without any further ado, let's get into this.
This is the mayor of the largest city. You are here on private property. On private property.
All right, this is the last. I'm not pinned. Listen, this is the last warning.
Oh, hey, Congresswoman. Hey, show some respect. Show some respect.
Called her man.
You have no respect.
Listen,
What does it mean?
Congressmen are different. Congresswomen are different. Mr. Mayor, anyone that is not a congresswoman or man, step out. It's the last warning. You will be placed under arrest.
You let him in, you piece of shit. He's the mayor. Let him in.
Don't rush in. Don't rush in.
No.
Don't, please. We got a gate. Back up.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you.
Looks pretty peaceful to me so far by law enforcement.
Shame on you people.
They're saying that because he was on this side, that he
Where's my congresswoman? Where's my congresswoman?
There she is in the red. Pay attention. Listen to the verbiage.
Don't touch us. Don't touch us. Don't touch us.
All right. Back up. Back up.
Don't touch us. This is not right.
So right there you have hindering law enforcement from doing their lawful job. Wow, that's very Congress personnel there. But remember, the citizens deserve answers for the actions of law enforcement that day. Also, how can we expect international students to trust our institutions? Well, Congresswoman, and now I'm actually speaking directly to you because this is that. How can we trust them to, how can we expect them to trust our institution? Well, with actions and behaviors like this, I I don't expect them to treat trust any way or have any type of feelings towards this in any way, shape, or form. Positive. Oh, and by the way, home of the American dream, right here.
Don't push up! He can be on this side!
It's on the coat. It's on the coat.
Call the coach, tell the coach.
Calm down. Calm down. I'm not resisting.
I know.
Keep all your goddamn hands off of me! Hell wrong with you? You ever put your hands on me? Hell wrong with you? Hell wrong with you? You better get your officer! Miss Perez! Miss Perez, get your fucking officer!
Let your hand go for her!
What? Well, with him, he just assaulted me! Let's just walk on this. I am filing a complaint. All right. I am filing a complaint. Listen to me. I'm filing a complaint. You can't talk to a congresswoman like that, and you got her to put your hands on me.
So, here's my thing. If you're going to have that energy when you're sitting before Congress, clearly you lost control of this entire situation. You were yelling. You had other constituents there trying to pull you back and keep you calm. So here's my thing. You already lost control. You lost control. You do not deserve to be a politician. Not with this attitude. Okay? Secondly, if you're going to bring this attitude and bring this type of energy, have it in Congress. Don't sit there like, well, today we're going to be talking about why is there water in the cup? Oh, and in order to drink the water, you have to hold the cup, but I don't like to hold the cup. No, bring this attitude. The same one you had towards law enforcement, the people that are there to protect and serve. Which, by the way, in case you didn't know this, Congresswoman, if you're hindering an officer from completing a lawful duty, example, you are now subject to be arrested and have charges put on you. You know? Then another one of her constituents was there. He had the press conference where he was crying. He was extremely emotional, and he was like, oh, there was so many officers. There were like 20 officers, and they were all armed. Well, folks, it is 2025 in the United States of America. It is understood if there's a law enforcement there, law enforcement have weapons. So why is this surprisingly to some people? I don't know. You know that a law enforcement is going to be armed. And if you call law enforcement, depending on what the situation is, and they show up, they're going to be armed. This case, they were already there because of the protests and what have you. They were already armed there, right? That's like me calling an Uber. Uber shows up and I'm like, oh my God, they have 4 wheels. Why do they have 4 wheels on this vehicle? And they have a spare in the trunk. Oh my God. So they have 5 wheels for one vehicle. Oh my God. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Let's be real. Okay. But as usual, I would love to hear what your thought process is. Okay. If you love the show, please do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment.